I call the 36th meeting of the Rotary year 23-24 to order. Can we have 1 minute silence, please, it's a silent invocation. Thank you. May I request Club Secretary Suman to read out the Secretary's announcement? Over to you, Suman.
Yeah. Thank you, Gargi. I would first like to call out an important program that we had conducted last week to all. We had successfully immunized close to about 40,000 children, and all credit to the community services team and especially Rotarians who've been sort of instrumental in handling this program for the last several years. Moving on to the birthdays and anniversaries, I'll start in chronological. So we have 2 of our lady Rotarians who are celebrating the anniversary on the same day. We start with the President, Gargi, and Kalidas Oja. They are celebrating their anniversary on March 10th, Sunday. Congratulations, Gargi. Please convey our congratulations to Kalidas too.
Thank you, Suman. Thank you so much.
On the same day, we have Madhuchanda and Ayan who are celebrating their wedding anniversary. Congratulations to you too, Madhu. Are you?
Thanks, Suman.
Yeah. We also have 2 of our charter members who are celebrating their birthdays. On Tuesday, March 12th, we have TV Mohan. He's celebrating his 75th birthday. Big occasion for him. And on the very next day, March 13th, we have Santosh Nedungadi, our charter president, who will be celebrating his birthday. So we wish both the charter members the very best. Coming to the meetings, coming Saturday, we have the club admin meeting. This will be hosted by Mithun and it will be a breakfast meeting. And I wish all the lady members a happy Women's Day. And today we are about 11 women members in the club. And on behalf of the entire Rotary Club, we wish everyone a happy Women's Day for tomorrow. That's it from me, Gargi.
Thank you. Thank you, Suman. Well, now I'll request past President Sammy to introduce our this evening's speaker, Rotarian Mohan Ramanathan.
Thank you, Gargi. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, my video is not coming, so bear with me. But that doesn't stop me from introducing the speaker. Actually, there are 2 speakers. So with Mohan Ramanathan, we have also Rahul Vaidya. First, I will introduce Mr. Mohan, Rotarian Mohan Ramanathan. He is an entrepreneur, mentor, and technology consultant for organizations for digital strategic consulting and digital transformation in many domains, including IT, education, healthcare, and in technology areas like IoT, blockchain, etc. Currently, he's running a consulting company called Blue Sky Consulting in the area of technology and technology aggregation. He is also a social entrepreneur and is part of a few trusts and Section 8 companies. His key objective is to apply technology for social change, as he believes in using technology to prepare us for the future and alleviate many social issues, including poverty. He is a Rotary member for the past 20 years. I think he is currently with Rotary Connect, if I'm not wrong, and active in both club and district level projects. He is involved in education, environment, healthcare as his primary focus. During COVID time, you would have noticed him being associated with many clubs and other NGOs to provide dry rations, cooked food, medical kits, and livelihood to the lower economic segment of the society. He has published many papers and articles in professional journals and is also active in professional forums. His personal interests outside work include cooking, book reading, astronomy, Western classicals, wine tasting, travel, etc. Quite a few. He is with him Mr. Rahul Vaidya, who is the AVP at Maitri Aquatech, handling the sales department within the organization. Rahul has been with the organization since its inception. Over to you, President.
Thank you, Sami. May I now request the speaker to take over from here?
Yeah,
Please, it's all yours, sir.
yeah, thanks a lot, Kagi. So I had come a few years back to your face-to-face meeting or a presentation of some other project, probably Rotary India, I'm not sure, to your club. So I'm not very new to your club. And so I'm very happy to see all of you, and especially Sushila, Ravin, where Sushila has been working. I've been working with her on a couple of other projects along with Jairam. Jairam is we work together on many projects. So I'm going to talk to you today about atmospheric water generator, as what we call as the AWG. So I'm going to show you first a video, then a presentation, then a little bit about what Rotary is offering. And then if Rahul is there, because Rahul was not well today, if he is attending, then we would talk about how it can be applied to other outside the Rotary, how it works out. And last Q&A is there. So the entire thing may take around 30 to 40 minutes. And so it's most of the time you'll see I'll be talking, even though there is a PPT presentation, etc. But I will be talking actually like some of this information, and then we can take it from there. If you want to question me as we go on, you are welcome. You can just stop me. You can just butt in, and I will be able to answer that too. So let me start with the first a small video. So you can see the video when I'm not able to connect to it's only the music. So I will explain to you. So basically it gives you a quick overview, 2-minute video of what is happening. And Maitri Aquatech is a Hyderabad based company. And they are one of the largest AWG manufacturers in world. They have more than 2,000 installations all over. So you can just see that it is very easy to transport, and you can put it anywhere you want, and it's scalable. I will talk about all those things. Okay, so the same thing is what I'm going to show you. This is a quick 2-minute video. So let me go to my PPT. Uh, okay. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this basically it's a company from Hyderabad. They are made. These are made in India. So it's a product from India, and AWG is not a new technology. It's there for the past 20 years or plus. What has happened in the 20 years is the cost has come down. So the cost of water generation is around 2 rupee per liter. That's the cost actually anybody will incur. And that is mainly because of electricity. So the way it works is that it's like a compressor, like an air conditioner. There is a compressor, and the compressor extracts water from moisture. So when you go into the moisture that you're taking from air, you can see that the totally you can see 6 times as much water available in groundwater or in river water is available to you in air. And the best thing about water from air is that, like rainwater, it gets replenished. So you will never be out of water. The water available in air, it can feed around 1,000 times the entire population of 8 billion people. And because it gets replenished, so you don't have any problem with water. And this water available in air is the highest of fresh water available in the world, right? And this depends on the humidity. We need to have a humidity of at least 35 to 40%. In place like Bangalore, average humidity comes to 70%. So the efficiency of AWG will depend on the moisture or the humidity in the air. For example, in any of the coastal areas, it's more than 100%. So you will get 100% efficiency. Whereas in place like Bangalore, we take only around 70% as the rated capacity. In place like deserts, it could be even less, maybe 20% or 25%. And in the night, when there is enough moisture, the water gets collected. So this is basically how it works. So you can see that it is a perennial, it is scalable. The water AWG, what is available with Maitri Aquatech, is from 25 liter or 40 liter per day. It is defined as a per day. 40 liter per day, 60 liter per day, 150 liter per day, 250, 500, 1000, 2000, 5000. Combination of this can give you any amount you want. For example, Microsoft in India is using 30,000 liters per day with a combination of 2000 and 5000. So first to talk about Maitri Aquatech, it's a large company. It's not a small company. It's already 1,000 crore market capitalization, and they are going towards in the next 3 years time. They have target of around $1 billion company because they are the biggest in the world. For example, they have already got an order for 65,000 units from Nairobi alone through CSR, through British Petroleum. And like that, all over in places like Middle East, they are very established. And Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, in other places, Abu Dhabi, there are a lot of installations coming on. And what they have done is reduce the amount of the yield has been increased in the last few years, especially with the nanotechnology coming in. There are a lot of research going on. And recently, they also found, with the Jain University is doing a research, they found nano coating can increase the yield by 40%. So that way the cost is coming down. So there is no groundwater dependence, no plumbing, no wastage of water, and no direct carbon or plastic footprint. Since doesn't need any plumbing or groundwater, it is the size of a refrigerator. You know, 1,000 liter will be looking like 1.2 meter or 1.5 meter by 1.5 meter height, 1.5 meter length. So that is the size. You can position it any way you want. And in many offices and other places, you can have multiple units installed. For example, you can have a 60 liter per day in, let's say, staff room. You can have 150 liter per day in a canteen. You know, you can have spread it out in floor by floor anywhere you want. And this, what we call as the early adopters, every MNC is using it. SAP, Microsoft, Google, Dell, Oracle, Amazon, all of them are using this for the last two years. And this water, all of them started with 1,000 or 2,000 liter. Like for example, SAP started with 1,000 liter, and now they are upgrading to 5,000 liter per day. So it's a very proven technology, and this is how it is going on. So this is how it works. The humidity in the air is removed by cooling, and this water goes through a sediment filter, then carbon filter, then after that it goes through a activated carbon, and then it is actually filtered through UV so that there is no bacteria. And this water, since in groundwater, if you take it, groundwater has got a lot of other issues. For example, you have fluoride in Karnataka, you have arsenic in North India, and you have iron and some of the other harmful stuff. And removing that is a very big problem. You have to have microfilters. Whereas here the water is absolutely pure. It's like a distilled water. So then the salt and the needed salt like magnesium or calcium, they're added in a cartridge, and the cartridge costs around 2,500 rupee. It comes for 6 months, and that is part of the maintenance. So this way, the water that you get is around 100 TDS, and it is around 7.5 pH. So it's a very healthy water. And depending on the place, like for example, in school, we add more calcium, and in place like KR Puram Hospital, for example, where we have installed in maternity ward, so we add magnesium. So all these things are added so that the water is potable and it's healthy. It's a safe water. So what is going to happen if we had talked about, for example, few years back, 10 years or 15 years back, that everybody can have their own communication instrument like a mobile phone today, nobody would have believed, because they would say that to give everyone their own communication device, it will require so many exchanges, trouser bars, and so many things, or people to operate. But a mobile phone changed it. So like that, AWG will change. You are going to see the next few years, every house is going to be independent. For example, if you are spending, let's say, a house which is around 1 crore worth, and a person requires around 40 liter per day, including bathing, 40 to 50 liter. So if for a family of 4, a 200 liter per day will take care of your drinking, cooking, washing, everything, all purpose water except flushing. And for flushing, you can have reused water. So that way a 200 or 250 liter equipment can take care of the entire house. So with the current problem of water problem, we are seeing that there are many people who are buying in gated community and in large corporate complexes, apartment complexes, where they are installing this. Recently, in Whitefield, they are buying around for 27 apartments or houses, they are buying 150 to 250 liter per day equipment, which costs around anywhere from 3.5 to 4 lakh for a 150 liter to around 5 to 6 lakh for 250 liter. So that is the background of this. So it is IoT ready, which means the flow, how much of usage, everything can be remotely monitored and intervened if there is a problem. You don't need to go and complain and then wait for somebody to come from remote place. The control tower can figure out how much is the flow, and if the flow is not good, they know that the filter has to change or filter has to be cleaned. It is already there in, as I mentioned, many of the offices, corporate, and in communities, like what you see here at the central place. This is in railway station. It is running already in 20 railway stations in Mumbai and in Hyderabad and other places. And railways have asked Meghdut or this Maitri Aquatech to install in at least 200 railway stations in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So this is the, and they also have a bottling plant, is the first bottling plant which is approved by BIS. And this is the only water, AWG water approved by JJM, this Jal Jeevan Mission. And this is installed in US Embassy in multiple places. So it's a proven technology. It's also available in Dubai and other places. And you can see the list of customers: Amazon, Google, Microsoft, SAP, Dell, Cisco, USAID. You can name all the big companies are here. In Chennai, that's in Cancer Institute. In Bangalore, we have in Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium. We have in K.R.Puram, we have a hospital, and it's also there in Jain Hospital, in Jain University, Bharat Electronics, Defense. In multiple places, it's already running. And Mr. Ramakrishna, who is the chairman, he is also UN ambassador for water, and he has got a lot of other awards. Maitri Aquatech has got award from KPMG to everywhere, and it is one of the top, what do you call, the exchange, water exchange is also getting registered, and the water that is saved. For example, if you have 1,000 liter per day, in a year you are saving 365,000 liter in a year. If you are also looking at RO water, which was used, so it is almost 1 million liter per day, per year is what you are saving on the groundwater. And it is aligned to all the SDG goals of UN. And this is the pricing, which is general pricing. You can see that this is a special price given to Rotary District 3191. So this comes with 5-year warranty, annual maintenance, GST, and storage capacity of double. That means if you are having 150 liter per day, it will have a 300 liter storage capacity, so that this can actually cater to around 300 children in primary school and around 200 children in high school. It can give water every day because they work only for 5 or 6 days in a week. 7th day it gets filled up. So that is the idea with which it is going. So this is totally about what we are offering. And why did the district take this? Because district wanted to go with something which is I will just come out of this. Yeah. So the district decided to go with a couple of projects, including cancer scanning plus water AWG, because water is the worst, area in which we are all trying to work out. As you know, already in Bangalore, we have a lot of issues. So, and schools, when we go and talk to the Department of School Education, they had told us that they need water in as many schools. Out of 44,000 government schools, they are asking us to at least install in 100 schools. And in schools, the power is free, which means once you buy and put it up, then there is no other cost involved. For 5 years, it will be taken care. So that is how we have got the deal with the Mighty Aquatech. And this entire thing works out quite well. Like recently we installed in one of the schools in Rajarajeshwari Nagar with a 250 liter per day, and it is taking care of around 400 to 500 children in the school. And this entire thing, we can extend it to a number of schools. And what district is offering is that anything that a Rotarian or club is paying towards Rotary Foundation can actually pay towards this AWG. For example, if somebody is paying $5,500, the club gets one school which he can nominate or she can nominate for AWG of 150 liter per day. So if somebody is paying becoming a major donor, which is around $10,000, you will get 2 150 liter per day or 1 250 liter per day. Very easily you can recommend to any school you want. And if the club is paying, for example, PHS, 4 or 5 people are paying PHS, you get one AWG now sponsored for that. Or if your club is paying 26.5 into say so many hundred people, $2,600 is already paid, and you have to pay another $3,000 to get 150 liter per day. So this is a scheme that we have, and we are installing minimum. We have got already around 25 schools sponsored by various Rotarians and clubs, and we are looking at 100 such units to be installed in 100 schools or 100 PHCs this year before June end. So this is what we are trying to offer. And so I encourage you, anybody who is becoming a major donor or any foundation donation or a contribution, please consider this. All you need to do is, there is a form available. I will share that with you, or you can simply write a check to Rotary Foundation, and in the back side, you can write the grant number for AWG. You will get, the Rotarian will get all the benefits of contributing to the Rotary Foundation as usual. Plus, you get one AWG sponsored. So with this, my presentation is done, and now I'm open for any questions.
Yes, there are a couple of questions already there in the chat box, sir. So I think I can read it
Yeah.
out for you.
Yeah.
Our past president Arvind has a question. Is there minimum humidity or moisture in air for this to be effective?
Yeah, there should be at least 30 to 35% humidity should be there. Moisture should be there.
Next question comes from Rotarian Rajendra Rane. What is power consumption, that is unit wise, for 150 liter a day?
Yeah, 150 liter takes approximately 2 kilowatt hour. That is, every hour it will need two units approximately. So which means, in the school it is free, but if you are taking for a house, it will mean around 250 to 300 rupee per day, and that is the cost of electricity that you are going to spend on AWG. The one advantage is, when you have a 150 liter per day in a house, the water, the cool air which is available can be used to cool your bedrooms or hall. So your air conditioner cost is not there. This itself can be used.
Right. Yes, Arvind has another question. This is not for individual house, and is it? And only community or public setup?
No, it is for individual houses, as I mentioned. See, like we all try to buy water and drink for drinking. or we are buying from a tanker, which we do not know the source. As I mentioned, yeah, one person requires around 40 to 50 liter per day, including bathing. So if you have a 200 liter or 250 liter per day installed in your place, the entire water supply for your house can be taken care. And it costs, as I mentioned, with the electricity, 2 rupee per liter. That is the cost that you will be spending. So if a 250 liter per day means around 500 rupee per day is what you are spending.
Yes, there's another question from Rotarian Manjuna. He would like to know, what is the refrigerant gas? Are there examples where pre-cooling or treated fresh air applications are deployed along with AWG?
Yes. So the liquid used is same as anything any air conditioner is using. That is a specification. I can share that with you. And this is because it is a cooling. There are two side benefits you get. One is you can use it to as a cooler. For example, in many places, this is being installed in what you call the farmers market, where potatoes to any vegetable can be cooled at 4 degrees. Plus, the water is also available to you. Same way, it also generates hot air, and people are using it for frying fish or a puppet or any fruits and things like that in food industry. So these are all the other benefits you get without any additional cost.
I have a question here. It's a very basic one. I'd like to know, cost-wise, if we compare, how cost-effective is this? Say, I mean, I buy a AWG and with X amount, and what is the life like for this, and vis-a-vis the cost I pay?
So if you are using, for example, if you are using AquaGuard or any of those things for your water, drinking water,
Yeah.
you have to see how much you are spending on an annual basis for maintenance, plus what is the cost of the equipment. Yeah, 40 liter per day, for example, I'm just giving you a ballpark figure, costs around 1 lakh. And 1 lakh, when you put that in, and the actual consumption of power is only approximately, as I mentioned, 2 rupee. So it will be around 3,000 rupee or 2,500 rupee in a month. So compare that with the water. If you are buying bottled water or that can which you buy, which you do not know the antecedent, whereas this will be absolutely safe, and that is the cost you are paying for this. So it is workable for a house for drinking. 150 now 25 liter per day or 40 liter per day is absolutely for your drinking plus your cooking. It you can take care totally.
Okay. Right. I mean, it's workable, that means.
It is workable. It is workable because in place like with some other places where we have, even within Rotary itself, people are spending around 5 rupee per liter as such now. And one Rotarian was saying even for his garden, he is spending that 5 rupees. The water that he buys, because the regular water is not available so easily. So then it makes sense. So where this is going to be useful is when there is no water, then you don't have any other option, and this works out quite well. Then in places where, for example, you have a farm, many other places we found 1 acre land is left free because it is not cost effective for them to have a bore well and pump water, and they don't have water. The TDS is very high. So in those places, we have done a study from Rotary with the Horticultural Institute in Kolar, and they found that the quality and the yield are much better for 1 acre in a 1 acre land for tomato, chili, or flowers, or ginger, and some of those things. And they have shown that it is more effective than pumping water. So you have to weigh this, what is your current requirement. Like, for example, we have also given to animals, where the animals do not have water in forest, like in Nairobi. We are given this, and this is used for the animals to drink water during summer. So it all depends on where is the use case and how you are going to look at this to install.
Good evening. I have one question.
Yeah.
See, you mentioned that RH
Raju,
requirement is around
sorry.
35. Sorry.
There are already 3 questions in the chat box. Can we finish? And can you just hold on for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah. Sir, Arvind has got one question. He wants to have the sales contact and website details from you. I think probably you'll be sharing that. Manjunath has a question.
In the
Yeah.
in the PPT that I shared with Sushila, that's from Maitri. So that has got all
Okay.
the contact points are also there.
So
And
Sushil-
Rahul is on the call as well.
Rahul, are you there?
And there is one question from Manjunath again. Is there a yield to humidity ready to use like table?
Yeah. So approximately, as I mentioned, the humidity, average humidity, if you look at your weather report and look at that, not on a day-to-day basis, but because the night it increases. But average, for example, if it is 70% is the humidity in place like Bangalore, you can assume the yield will be 70%.
Past President Shivdev would like to know what would be the cost of installing a 250-liter equipment at home?
Okay, 250 liter with within rotary, it costs somewhere around 7.9 because that includes 5-year warranty and AMC. But if you are looking for your house, it will cost somewhere around 5 lakh with a 1-year warranty. After that, every year you have to pay around 10%.
Another question. How about generating water from polluted environments? What are the risks of AWG water contamination?
It's like almost like rainwater. So the water is pure, and that is why it is again sent through sediment filter and activated carbon. So that will clean up any further pollutant which is there.
Raju, you can go ahead, please.
Yeah. Rotarian Ramanathan, see, I was just reading about this. See, if you look at this point in time, the relative humidity in Bangalore is 30%, very low. And generally in these months where the water requirement is high, the relative humidity will not be very high. Even night time also, it's not that is going to be very different. So, but I was reading and I want to know whether it is correct or not. The requirement for this AWG is basically 70 to 80% RH. It functions better. So if you say that 30% humidity it is required, how much will be the yield? Because daytime will be much lower.
Correct.
Peak of summer.
Yeah. So what happens is the yield is actually related to humidity, but we have changed it to Maitri Aquatech has changed that to dew point, which is the temperature and humidity together. And with the nanotechnology and couple of other technology part of it, the water, which is the water can be extracted even at 12 to 13% humidity. So in a place like Rajasthan, for example, it is still working at around 13%, and the yield naturally will not be so low as 13%. It will be in the order of around 25 to 30%. But what we are finding is in the night, your humidity goes little higher, and so it is between 6 o'clock in the evening to 6 o'clock in the morning. Actually, most of the water, 60% of the water can get filled up. But yes, it will depend on the humidity, so it will not be very productive in some of these places. But interestingly, in Middle East, they've gone even for 20% humidity, and the yield is only around 30% for them. But still, they are using it because there is no other water for them.
Yeah, but then the power consumption goes up very high.
No, power consumption will depending on the humidity. It's a AI driven. So there is the air which is drawn. It depends on the what do you call the fan, which is turbine or whatever, which is actually drawing the air. So that slows down or that checks up. So that there is definitely a cost. That's why we keep telling that the cost is going to be at least 2 rupee even at 70%. If it is 100%, it will be somewhere around 1 rupee per liter. So if the yield is less, yes, it is going to be high. So the only way is if you go for say 40 liter, you can go for solar. Solar, then your entire cost is going to be 0.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And at a 40 liter per day or 60 liter per day, your solar cost is not very high. You can just still install a solar power and run it. And there is also one more thing we found. We are still evaluating. There is a battery available. This battery is the full day. You don't need a UPS. The entire day, it can actually take care of some of these units. And in half an hour, it can actually charge the entire battery. So your power requirement is one, but even in rural places where the power is not consistent, we can still provide continuous water in this.
Yeah, there is another question, but I don't know who's the Rotarian who's asking this. The question is, how often do we need to clean up the filters on an average? Is there any way to understand if the water filter are choked?
Yeah.
Filters
So
are
there,
choked.
yeah. So there is one, that is what IoT will, the sensor will tell. If the yield is less, it automatically tells that there is some cleaning up is needed. There is one air filter. That air filter is a washable filter. So once a month, you can just remove it, wash it, and put it back. So there is no other big thing. And all other things are once a year or twice a year maximum, like activated carbon, or any of those things need to be changed. The life of this equipment is around 15 years. So you don't need anything more than these two maintenance other than electricity.
There is another question. This needs to be exposed to outside the environment or can be placed inside the house, garage, etc.
As long as there is a airflow, this can be placed anywhere. And for larger unit, what we recommend is you can actually position it in the terrace and bring down only the storage unit to give water inside the house.
Shushila has got a question. What would be the noise level in decibels when the machine is running?
Okay, good question. 40 and 60 liter, you can bear it. There is no sound. 150 and 250, there is a sound. So then we ask people to install it in outside so that inside the house, you don't have that sound or a noise problem. I can share that exact decibel of noise for each of the machines.
It's like the split AC.
Exactly. It is like split AC.
Do we have any more question? I mean, in the chat box, I don't find anything, but participants,
Yes, Gagi, I have a question, one more question, Shivdev.
yes, please go ahead, Shivdev.
Mr. Mohan Ramanathan, have you installed this machine and you find it useful? I suppose you have installed this equipment at your home. Or what's your
Yes,
experience?
yes, it is very useful. As I mentioned, in many other places now, it's the requirement is coming in.
No,
Like
no,
place
have
like
you personally installed it at home? Do you have one at home?
not yet. I don't have
Okay.
at home.
Okay. So is this been patented or something, this machine?
Yes, the patent is with Maitri Aquatech, and they have the design and the manufacturing on the rights.
I guess Shivdev,
Yeah.
this has been installed in the DG's office. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is in DG's office.
And it's been running for a few months now, or almost a year, I believe. Okay, we'll go take a look at it.
And also, Shivdev, I had the opportunity to drink the water from there,
Okay.
and you cannot really make out. I mean, so it is. You cannot really make out that it is something totally different, you know. Yes.
Thanks.
Well, there is. Yeah, it's Manjunath again. He has a question. Manju, why don't you ask it?
Yeah, oh, sure. Yeah. So this follows the refrigerant cycle, isn't it? So if it is actually in a confined space, will it warm up the surroundings? Because there's going to be some amount of heat dissipation.
No, it is generating both cold air, because once it is extracted, like a air conditioner, that is how we are able to cool a room to 23 degree. The entire house of say 1,500 square feet can be kept at around 22 degree or 20 degrees with this.
So how does the heat dissipation happen? Because if this is following the refrigerant cycle and the condensation process.
Yeah, there is a outlet which is
Okay.
taken to outside. It's like exactly like split AC. So
Okay.
we'll be dissipating it outside.
Oh, so there's a condensing unit outside. The
Yes.
refrigerant flows through the condensing unit outside
Yeah.
and the cooling unit inside. So condensation happens inside there.
Correct.
All right. And see, there's one more question. I think that you answered it earlier, just to kind of add some more information on that. I think the ADP becomes a very important element, because for measuring the yield, I think it's not relative humidity, it's specific humidity, the amount of moisture available. And based on the ADP, apparatus dew point, for various locations, I think we can measure the yield also. Maybe a 40-liter unit in working in Chennai could be delivering 50 or 60 liters or lesser in a different location if the dry bulb, red bulb variations. I think that's how it works. Maybe once we look at the brochure, the technical details, will have more idea on this.
Correct. And what they have done is also the compressor, even though it is let's say 150 liter, the compressor is a higher capacity. So even at 70%, you will still get around 100 plus 120 liters per day.
So is it also then coupled with an inverter, just to make sure that the energy consumption is lower if it's a higher size compressor?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thanks.
I guess there's no more question.
So I have a question for you, Gargi.
Yes, please tell me.
So I'm also in, part of the TRF team. So
Yes.
we're also trying to figure out how many major donor, how many PHs will come from your club, and whether some of them can be converted to sponsoring some schools, whichever school that you people want.
Yes. We have a few major donors who are not, of course, the current year's major donor. And this year, we haven't got any major donor as yet, though as far as TRF is concerned, we have donated quite a lot. I mean, not really very huge figure, but yes. And we have a donation of about $2,824. And also we have got a Polio Plus donation that is about $1,340. These are the two donations we have got. Yes, I have been talking to a couple of our Rotarians who are probably multiple donors already, but not a major donor. But so far, I have not been able to really convince them that they should become a major donor. But eventually, probably, I think we will have.
Sure. Any contribution by your Rotarian, your members, or from the club, if it is still open, you can contact us. We'll see how we can do that.
Yeah.
Because the requirement coming from schools is really, sometimes we do not
Yeah.
know how to respond to them. Like we gave it to a couple of schools in rural, and the BDO had come back saying that, can you provide for 300 schools? So we are trying to talk to government and see whether they can also sponsor partly. But definitely from Rotary side, whatever we can do, would like to do. And any of your CSR donor or CSR partner, if they are willing, then that also will be another way by which we can give it to some.
You mean to say the CSR donor will be donating this machine to be installed in any of the location that way, or how a CSR donor is coming on board this?
So there are two ways of doing. One is CSR, any CSR partner, if they are willing to provide. For example, Virtusa is giving for 31 schools.
Okay.
The company called Virtusa, because that is their deal. And the one more company called Signa has given to that RR Nagar school provided by them. They had 10 lakh. So they said, where can we put in? So they selected the school. We said any school in Bangalore, government school is okay. So they paid it to the club, and the club in turn bought that. So that is one. And second way of doing is, if any larger CSR partner you have, like say who can pay $21,000, then you can actually create a CSR Rotary Foundation grant, and you will get a separate number. So that is being run by, for example, Lakeside is running one program, IT Corridor is running another program. So a couple of these clubs are running their own program, which you can use it for AWG or for other project also. That's a very good way of generating, for example, $21,000, which is somewhere around 18-20 lakh. You can actually do a 1 crore project, because your other contributions can be added to that.
Yes, we do have a few CSR donors. They are contributing to some of our projects, but so far we have, I think we'll try to explore this opportunity, that whether we can install this to the schools or some other locations, where it will be, the use will be maximized, and also it will be a very good public image, I can say.
Absolutely.
So the possibility is there.
Yes.
So that is definitely. Any other question?
So I'm fine. So I'll be in touch with you anyway. So
yeah, thank you. And of course, before we close the meeting, I'd request Rotarian Chaitra to give vote of thanks, please. Chaitra, over to you.
So one more thing I wanted to mention. Next
Yes,
year also will be handling special projects. So you'll see my face quite often, because there are some large projects which are coming besides AWG. We are also doing 1 million people to be scanned under BBMP in all the wards. So that's another big project we are taking up. So some of these things I will be, I will come back.
Yeah, sure. Chaitra, you should be probably in touch. You never know.
Yes, That's exactly what
right.
I was going to say.
Chaitra is going to be in our incoming board. So that is what. Yes,
Thank
Chaitra,
you.
go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Rotarian Mohan Ramanathan. That was really insightful. And I think, especially when you speak about doing things for the government school children, you know, that I think is what really highlights your program. And definitely we should all work more towards it. And since we are all hearing about the water problems that we're all going to have now, I think not relying on groundwater, and if we can get some good fresh air and water with it, I mean, it'll be a double whammy for all of us. So definitely thank you for that a nice talk. And it's good that you're going to continue. So your familiar face will keep reminding us about our goals of how many more schools we have to reach. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Chaitra. And I adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, I mean.